let's talk about your signature offer. How to create one that resonates not only with you, but also with your target audience. I have notes, so y'all know I need my notes. This is a struggle that I see a lot with women in the spiritual entrepreneur space. I see a lot of readers. I see a lot of healers. I see a lot of like Reiki and tarot and crystal healing, sound baths. This is all really, really powerful, amazing stuff. But the problem with this is we're capping our income and we're trading time for money all the time. I've talked about this before in the Scaling to 10K video. So go back and watch that because it's really, really important for this. If you're in this space where you want to scale your business, you want to be able to serve more people, make more money, but honor your own energy more, you're going to need to create that signature offer. So I'm going to walk you through 5 steps in this video for how to do that. And I want you to be able to walk away with a pretty solid idea of how you can create the signature offer. The first thing that you need to figure out when creating the signature offer is what type of offer do you want it to be? You need to have it be something that is 2K or more. So I'm going to give you some tips. If you need an offer to be 2K or more, it's going to depend on time and it's going to be something that you're going to need to be involved with. A lot of people are not going to spend 2K or more on an evergreen program. Evergreen programs are usually going to be under $1,000. All right, $997, $888, $697, $555. That's going to be more of an evergreen offer right there. You can make an evergreen be your signature offer to start with. You can absolutely do that. This is something I've had some of my clients do where they start with that signature offer because asking for $2,000 off the bat does not feel aligned to them. They don't feel ready to do that. It does not feel good to them. They feel like they're asking for too much. So creating a lower ticket signature offer that's an evergreen that maybe they can offer for $555, that feels better to them to start out with. And then what we'll do is we offer an upgrade option. After someone registers and signs up for this program, there's then an upgrade offer for one-to-one coaching support as they go through that offer, as they go through that program. So this is something that I set up. I use ThriveCart. I'll make sure to link them down below. That makes it really easy in the sales process. Have your offer. And then once someone signs up for that, it will take them to a second page offering, would you like additional help as you go through this process for an additional $555? Maybe it's that. You can get one-to-one support with me via Voxer through these 8 weeks. Okay, so something like that. That will enable you to make more money with that one offer, but it's also going to give you an opportunity to support people through a structured program. This is where a lot of women struggle when it comes to just, well, let me start coaching, let me start putting this out there. And they're nervous because they're like, well, what if I don't know what to say? What if I don't know what to do? Or, right? So having that structured program is a really great place to start because then we're just kind of going in congruence with that program. How was your week? How did it go this week? What came up when you did the ritual? What, etc. Right? Talk through it, work through it. It feels a lot better. And this is kind of like that warm up time to be able to then build confidence to say, all right, I'm ready to up level. I'm ready to start working just one-to-one with clients. I'm ready to create a hybrid offer mastermind where they can have access to a longer program and get coaching with me as they go through it. Or maybe I just want to do a mastermind where they get access to me coaching for 6 or 12 months. All right. So there's tons of options here, but we have to make sure that we're coming in at a price that feels aligned to you. If you're trying to sell something that doesn't feel aligned and that feels awkward or uncomfortable to ask that amount of money for it, you're never going to sell it. You're going to have gone through all the work to create something, and then you're never going to feel comfortable showing up to sell it. So you have to keep all this stuff in mind when you're going through this process, because this is essential. we also need to make sure that you get so solid in love with this offer that you know its value inside and out, that it, it's just overflowing with value, where it's like, you know, that you've got this like sacred holy grail in the vault in the back, right? Where you're like, I know what I've got. I know what I've got. I know how amazing this is. I know how transformative this is, because your energetics when it comes to this offer are going to do most of the selling. That's where we step out of the bro marketing, where we have to cold DM and try to, go for the no and all this kind of stuff. Instead, when we are the embodiment of the transformation of that offer, and we're showing up in all of that fire and passion and excitement because we know how freaking powerful that offer is. When we come out with our content strategy and we're talking about it, when we're doing videos like this, that's going to sell it. You're going to have people that watch you and they're like, I don't care how much this is. I want to be in her energy. I want to work with her. Okay. So this is really, really important when it comes to the offer. So making sure that you have this offer as something that you can price within a realm that makes sense to you. Now, I'll go over pricing a little bit more once I go through these last things, but you need to make sure that you're mindful. Okay. Really get honest with yourself. What container size do you have? How much would you really comfortably be able to ask? And if you can't ask for a minimum of like 333, 444, 555, you need to take a pause. Okay. You need to take a pause and focus more on your mindset right now. That's really, really important. Do the work to get yourself there so that you can be a container to receive what it is that you need to receive and what you deserve to receive. Okay. Yes, you freaking deserve it. You are an expert in your field. You know what you're talking about. You get amazing results for people. You deserve to be compensated for that. Just like a plumber or any service provider out there, right? They do a job. It was a great job and they deserve to be compensated for their time. Period. There's no way around this. Okay. So you deserve to be compensated. But you have to get yourself into a place where you believe this, where you're in full alignment of this. Because if you're not, and there's a disconnect and you're out of integrity with what you're asking for and what you believe you deserve, there's always going to be a disconnect. You're not going to attract the right clients. Period. You just won't. Please, please don't overlook this. Do that inner work to get yourself to a place where you feel worthy. If you're afraid of the persecution, hop inside my Sacred Feminine program to heal that witch's wound, that persecution energy. If your mindset is to a place where you just don't feel worthy, then you need to go through the untangled process. All right. Go through these things, or just if you can't even afford to do any of those, make it an intention to listen to bilateral beats, to do more meditation, to do more journaling exercises, to watch more videos like this, to really educate and hype yourself up. Surround yourself with positive energy instead of all the negative noise that you've been around. This is so, so important. That's why I started with that. So first and foremost, number one is, what type of offer are you going to make? Is it going to be a lower ticket evergreen? Is it going to be a higher ticket 2,000? Hopefully we can do that, a 2,000 plus. I would start, if we're doing 2,000, I would say something like a 6 or 8 week container, maybe up to 12 weeks. That's going to have you involved in it. So we could do it. It's like a hybrid mind, where it's like you've got a program already built out, and then you're showing up for group coaching calls throughout that entire session. Okay, so that could range depending on your audience size, depending on your sense of value. That can range really anywhere from about 2,000, I would say, to about 7,000 is what I've seen in the market for this kind of offer. And a lot of people who are charging that higher ticket, they're not even the ones showing up in that program. They've got a team of people that are helping. They're not even there. So we've got to just factor all of this in. If you're wanting a higher ticket, like 10 to 25K, That's probably going to look more like a year-long container that is either a mastermind that has a team of support where there's multiple calls a week with you yourself, and then some of your collaboration coaches that are in there that are helping to support. So they're these contributing coaches that are a part of this that bring in this extra. Sorry to interrupt this video. I'm sure that you're loving it, but if you are loving it, I want to make sure that you remember to grab your copy of the Intuitive Femme Framework. This is a 40-page playbook that I put together that breaks down the entire framework you're going to need to build a sustainable, scalable, and aligned feminine business in the online coaching space. So if you're looking to scale your business to multiple 6 and 7 figures and want to do it in a feminine aligned way without burnout and without the gross marketing bro hustle, grab this. You can either click the link below or scan the code. Okay, so there's lots of different things to factor in. So really get clear, take your time, get your favorite little notebook out. What does this look like? Okay, what kind of container do you want to create? Because this is about you showing up too. How much energy do you have? Are you struggling with some mental health stuff where it's hard for you to show up? Evergreen is probably going to be the right direction to go. Are you full of energy and love showing up and love coaching? Then do some type of mastermind where you're showing up and you're working with a group of people and you're there delivering. All of this stuff is very important. This is where I say when we are creating a business, nothing is cookie cutter. Nothing is just one size fits all. Everyone is going to have different needs. I base when I am working with someone and helping them develop all of this, I want to know what their witch's moon archetype is, because a peacock is going to need something very, very different than a possum. I know that. I know all of this information just from having that data. I want to know what their mental health is like. I want to know what their family life is like. I want to know if they have a supportive partner. I want to know if they're are you a single mom like I am. Are you raising kids and feel like a single mom even though you have a partner who's toxic? Like, what's going on? All of this stuff has to be factored in to understanding what am I going to create? How much can I show up? How much am I able to energetically contribute to this container? Knowing that is also going to determine what we charge for it. Okay. So super, super important. So that's one, figure out what type of offer you're going to make. Number 2, align your offer with your mission. I've seen this, and this has happened with my own clients. I've seen this talking and consulting when someone just does a soul strategy session with me and they come in, they're like, I just need you to take a look at this, break my stuff apart and tell me where I'm going wrong, where the holes are, what's going on. What happens is a lot of times people create a business based off what they think that they're supposed to be doing versus what they're called to do. How do we determine the difference? If you're someone who has grown up all the time, maybe we'll just use an example like we always see, like maybe someone's a lawyer, okay? They went through law school, they did all that stuff because my dad was a lawyer and his dad was a lawyer and Uncle Joe Blow's a lawyer and Helen is a lawyer, everyone's a lawyer in my family, even though it's soul sucking and I hate it and I don't want to do it. But I went into it because I thought that was what I was supposed to do because it's what I've always been surrounded by. And that's what I know. So that's what I felt like I was supposed to teach on. Instead, we need to go back and look at what has your journey been like here on this planet? What have you been learning? Because we come in with a mission. And we're learning as we are going through life. We're being trained in our expertise for what we're going to help others with. So maybe you saw a pattern where you were constantly bullied for something. So that your calling is to actually help people overcome those programs so they can show up authentically. All right. Maybe there was a pattern that you always felt rejected, like you couldn't be enough, like you were never enough, all of that kind of energy. So your mission is to help other women find their sense of worth and ask for what they deserve. Maybe you were always put down and made to feel like you were just supposed to sit quietly in the corner and do what everyone else said. Your mission is to help women find their voice and step up into their power and be seen to make an impact. So look back at the theme of your life and see, what are the patterns? What are these things that occurred? What are these things that continuously were showing up for me where I had to really lean in and make that final decision to say, I'm tired of this. I need to heal so that I stop playing out these dynamics with people. Whatever that common theme was, that is what you are meant to help other people with. So make sure that you are aligning what it is that you're doing in your business with that mission, not based on what you think you're supposed to be teaching because it's just something familiar to you. Maybe you do accounting and you're like, I guess I need to teach accounting. If that's not a passion point for you, where you want to teach women how to become empowered through learning about their money, cool. That's awesome. Do that. But if that doesn't sit with you and you're like, I really hate accounting and numbers. I love belly dancing and sacred sexuality and feminine embodiment. I want to talk about that and help women with that. Then that's what you're meant to be doing. Okay. So that was number 2. Make sure that you're aligning your offer with your mission, not with what you feel like you're supposed to be doing based on society standards. Okay. Number 3. Oh my God, drop this. Number 3, understanding your audience's desires. You've probably heard this a lot in the coaching space. Pain point, pain point, pain point. This is the old masculine way of doing business. Find out where it hurts and poke at that until they give you money because you're promising them relief from that. This is gross. This is why it does not align with most feminines. It does not align with intuitive women. I can tell you that. And they're like, well, I have no idea how to even sell then because this is all that's being taught. And then that just feels really gross to me. So what do I do? We have to take this step back away from pain points and focus on what is the transformative result? What is their desire? What do they want to experience? Then we're going to activate their imagination. We're going to start getting them to step into the embodiment of that. What would it be like for you to wake up every morning to a partner that you absolutely adored and that you knew adored you too? What would that feel like? How would your day go? How would you sleep at night knowing that they were lying next to you? Okay. Very different from, are you tired of dating narcissists? We are, aren't we? Very different though, right? It's very different. And what we're doing is by coming from a place of focusing on the desired outcome. Yes, do we need to understand the pain points? What is causing them fear, frustration, or suffering, the heartache? Of course. But that is again going to help us understand what their desire is. What do you want to be experiencing? I want to paint a picture for you of what that's going to look like. And it can look like by going through my transformative program. So this is a very, very different energy. So we need to make sure that we're understanding what those desires are. And we have to get really, really deep with this. Not the whole thing of, I want to be happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to be in my power. I see this a lot too. These generic statements. You have to take it one step further. What does that look like for them? What does it look like for them to be in their power? Does that mean that they're now stepping into their independence? Maybe they're in their 30s and they never felt safe to move out of their parents' home because they've felt like they could never support themselves because their parents were constantly telling them that they're not enough and they can't do it. And so they're staying there because they're like, well, I'm afraid. Like, I don't know if I can actually take care of myself. Maybe this is a group that you want to empower and talk to. So what would it be like to have freedom, to be able to have your own space and be in this energy? That's that power that they're looking for. That's what they're wanting to experience. So same thing with relationships, same thing with money. What would it feel like to be able to go to the grocery store and buy whatever you want and not have to worry about if the card was going to get declined? What would it be like to be able to finally start traveling? What would it be like to be able to put your kids through the private school that you want to put them in because they're being bullied so badly at their current school. What would that feel like? What would it be like to have this as an option? We want to paint this picture because what's happening when we do this is not only are we activating their third eye, we're activating their womb space because we're asking them to generalize and tap into what it is that they want to create. We create from our womb. So, what is it that you want to create? If we're able to ask these women through our content to connect into their womb, they're going to make a decision from their desire, not from fear in their amygdala, lizard brain. They're going to do it from a place of desire that's in reasoning, the prefrontal cortex, the neocortex. We're getting them up into our reasoning brain by painting a picture that makes them feel safe. If we poke at pain points and activate that lizard brain, the amygdala sits back here, we activate that, they're going to make a decision from fear. And guess what? Those are going to be the ones who come into your container and say bad reviews because they've gotten all activated because they don't feel that they really could afford it. They're going to do chargebacks on you. You're going to have to hunt them down for payments. Okay. We don't want that. We also don't want to put our sisters in that position. We don't. That's not good. We want to make sure that we're attracting women from a place of, yes, I do desire this. I am ready for this. I do want to experience this. Okay. Very important again. There's that. Next is we have to make sure that inside this offer, we create a clear transformation journey. This means we need to understand that offer. We need to understand what is my proprietary process from taking them from always dating narcissists and feeling like they're not good enough and have been like gaslit and manipulated and breadcrumbed for so long that they don't know which way is up and left from right and up and down, whatever. Like they're so confused, they're so lost, they have no idea who they are, what their identity is. How do we take them from that to being so deeply unconditionally in love with themselves that they set appropriate boundaries? They wait the 90 days before even kissing someone or making future plans because they know what to look for. They're no longer going to fall for those kinds of, oh, like the future faking. Let's make all these plans, get your oxytocin going so that you form a bond with me. So in a few weeks, I can start pulling away and then you're entrapped in all this energy, right? How do we take them from here to this really empowered space? What does that process look like? What is your step by step by step by step by step? Okay. With this, you need to write it out. Module 1. I always do module 1 as the introduction. And I don't have my, I should have opened it up, but I actually, for my clients inside my Sacred Feminine Sales Society, they have access to a template that I created, a framework that's like writing out your module 1, what it is that you want to include in this, all of that, module 2, module 3, etc. Module, that's going to go for like an 8-week program, 12-week program. If this is a 6-month program, just turn the modules into months. So what am I going to cover in this month? First month, we're going to look at root causes of these beliefs. What mother and father wound do you have? Where were you starved of love and affection that made you feel that you were not worthy of unconditional love that is creating these patterns where you're seeking it through playing out these dynamics with narcissists? Okay, this is an example. We start there, right? And then what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? Until we get into this space where they have all the tools that they need. So when they go back out into the dating world, they're not going to fall right back into the same traps. They're not going to be attracted to those same toxic partners. They're going to know what to look for. They're going to pace themselves and wait and get to know somebody before planning their whole future with them, with their perfect stranger. We don't know them. Yeah, I don't know you, right? So why are we going to do that? Because we've been programmed to fall for this and self-abandon. So how do we help them through all of that? That's the process that you want to get really, really clear on and make sure that you understand that process. What are they going to learn after week or month 1? What skills are they going to have? What about week 2 or month 2? By that time of going through your program, what are they going to have learned and what can they apply to their life then? Make sure that you understand this so that you can convey that in your content. Then lastly, we're going to go back to like pricing the offer appropriately. Once you have gone through and really written out this offer, looked at it, dissected it. I refer to this as an offer autopsy. I have a whole template for my clients. It is juicy, but it is so worth doing. Once you understand all of that, then you're going to be able to sit there and go, okay, I actually do think this is worth $2,000. I actually do think that this is worth $997 instead of $444. Look at this result. Look at what I'm going to create for these people. So make sure that when you start, it's okay. Like go where it feels right. Where it's like, okay, I really don't feel like charging $2,000 right now. I'll do an evergreen. I'm going to do it at $555, like Nancy said. Start creating it. By the end of the creation of it, you very well may go, man, I am a freaking expert at this. Look at how amazing this program is. I am going to walk people through this because I want them to get that loving attention that they deserve. And I'm going to ask for more money because I deserve it too, because look what I just created. Okay. So allow yourself to make a change once you created that offer and make sure that you're still pricing it in a way that feels really good to you, that feels like a really solid, energetic exchange. All right. Those are my tips I have for you when creating your signature offer. I'll make sure to link everything that I referred to down below. If you have questions, if you want to hop inside the Sacred Feminine Sales Society, I'll make sure to link that too so you can get access to me and have me jump inside everything and look through it and help you. That's fine too. But yeah, if you have questions, put them in the comments and I will see you all next time. I hope this was helpful. And if you learned something, I bet one of your friends will too. So make sure to share this and I'll see you soon.